Happy New Year everyone, my name is Adam and welcome to 2024. I hope you had an amazing holiday, but sadly, it's time to move on. And speaking of moving on, I've decided to make some changes to my channel as I'm no longer a Let's Play channel like I used to be. The first change being that I'm renaming my monthly recap series to monthly gaming vlogs, and I will explain why in detail in a future video, but it's mainly to reflect the evolution of these videos as they have changed quite a bit in terms of their content, their scope and their goal as well. So while the content itself is going to mostly stay the same as it has been for the past few months, I'm adjusting the channel around it. Hopefully it will make a bit more sense this way, and hopefully it will reach a wider audience, and if you're new here, it has already worked. So welcome to the first vlog of 2024, let's get started. So last month I've purchased 2 video games. One of them I was actually meant to cancel the pre-order for, which I kind of forgot, but we'll get to that in a second because first I have a game that I've actually ordered back in November, but it took over 2 weeks to arrive, and it's Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name. Now you might be surprised by the Japanese cover, as I usually collect and show you guys English cover games. However, this one was not released in the West in a physical form at all. So I had to order it from PlayAsia, and there was an English cover option, or at least one with an English front cover, but I think the back of that was either Chinese or maybe one of those like multilingual covers, just with Asian languages instead of the European ones. Now I'm not sure if I've mentioned it before, but I'm actually quite fond of Japan. I really like their language, their culture, and even more so their architecture and just the landscape and the cityscape. I even thought about moving to Japan, but I can't really afford it, and I also don't want to be that far away from friends and family. However, I did start learning the language, and I think I've had 4 semesters in a Japanese class during my university studies, but that was a few years ago at this point, and I haven't really used the language since. But anyways, like I said, I do like Japan and Japanese stuff, so I did choose the Japanese cover on purpose this time, especially since I will be playing these games with the Japanese voiceover anyway. So I'm actually quite happy that I get to have a Japan-made game in the original Japanese form. I've also got 2 of these stickers with it, one for just a generic PlayAsia sticker, and there was also one that is, I guess it's an anime sticker, but I don't know the anime. Actually it says something on the back. AKA Facts number 7, or I guess Aka Facts number 7. Aka has never cleared her browser history. Okay, sure. I suppose it's from an anime that I don't know. I don't really watch too many animes. I am interested in them, but I've just recently registered to Crunchyroll, so I guess it's from something that I don't know. And the second game for this month that I was actually thinking about cancelling my pre-order for was Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. I've mentioned it in the November recap video that it has this annoying DRM solution that I hate, and I'm going to vote with my wallet and not purchase the game. Except I pretty much forgot about it until I got the email notification that they are packing up my order, getting ready to ship it. I guess I could have still cancelled it, but I'm sort of a regular customer at the local store that I ordered it from, and just didn't want to mess with them when they were just about to ship it. But I'm actually not so bothered by forgetting it, because so far what I've seen from the game, it looks actually quite good. And so I've got the Gold Edition, but I think Ubisoft needs to chill out with their editions, because this game had a standard edition, a special edition, a limited edition, a gold edition, an ultimate edition, and a collector's edition. Now if you're wondering what all these include, well, basically just different skins. The only ones that make sense in my opinion are the gold edition and the collector's edition. The gold edition includes the season pass that provides actual in-game content in terms of expanded story or optional content or whatever. And the collector's edition contains all the physical goodies, but that one was not widely available and was also very expensive, so I just went for the gold edition for the season pass. And there's one more thing, or actually 2 more things that I forgot to show you guys in the previous video. There are 2 new amiibos for Tears of the Kingdom. First, let's see Ganondorf. Looks pretty good. It has this sort of cartoony look to it. It's also a little bigger than the usual due to the larger platform and the wider stance, but not so much. Then we have the new Zelda amiibo, which quickly became my favorite Zelda amiibo. I love the color scheme and it has an interesting pose, especially compared to the Breath of the Wild Zelda amiibo, which just stands still, and the sword also looks really nice as well. As far as I know, both of these amiibos offer a paraglider skin as a reward, which is a bit disappointing. I expected a little more from such cool amiibos like armor sets, weapons, or even side content, but I guess they look cool enough on the shelf like this that I would still consider them worth the price. I've also got a few gaming related Christmas gifts that I thought I would show you guys. First, I've got this Nintendo Switch carry case. which can take the Switch itself, the dock, a Pro controller, a couple of games and some accessories. The only thing I'm not sure if it can carry is the charging brick for the dock, because I think it was designed for the US market originally, and the European power plug is larger, so that it might not fit, although it does have plenty of space above the slots as well, so it probably will, but I haven't tested it because I happen to have a separate charging cable at my parents' house, specifically so I don't have to cable manage it out of my setup, so thankfully it's not really an issue for me personally. I've also got two of these Hori cartridge cases, so I wouldn't be leaving my loose cartridges around my Switch. I usually don't like to take the original cases off the shelf and open and close them every time I switch between games. I like to protect them from wear and tear, and so I usually just leave 2 or 3 cartridges around my dock for easy access. I've actually got one of them already in use. I have Pokemon Sword in it that I play when I'm at my parents, and I've got Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which I switch between nowadays. I actually have a Scarlet in my Switch right now. The other one I think I will use for my Zelda games, namely Link's Awakening and Skyward Sword, then Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom in the future, and I will also have 2 slots left for Twilight Princess and Wind Waker re-releases or remakes if Nintendo ever decides to actually do that. And the last thing I'm showing today is this incredibly heavy book. It's a behind the scenes book for Breath of the Wild. I've got the limited edition, or I think maybe it's called the collector's edition, I'm not sure, but basically it contains 300 pages of concept art and sketches, complete with developer notes mind you, a section exploring the history of Hyrule, exclusive interviews with key developers, and it also has a cloth map in it, which I'm really happy about, and this spirit orb. I'm gonna show you guys here on the bottom. You can see I think it's an item in the game, but since I haven't played it, I'm not entirely sure. I also can't wait to open this up, but because I think it contains spoilers, I guess I will keep it until the I guess I will only open it after I finish the game. Hopefully I can hold myself back, but it's looking really good, so I just can't wait to flip through these pages. So in December I finished up Pokemon Scarlet's DLC, or well, the first part of Hidden Treasures of RER0, titled The Teal Mask. As far as I could tell, I've done everything there is to do. I've finished up the story, I've completed the Pokédex, I've beat the Kitakami Ogre clan, and I've collected all of the tablecloths and had the guy craft me all types of chairs for the picnic. I've also built a living dex in my boxes, just like for the base game, and I've purchased a bunch of consumables in preparation for the next part of the DLC. During the holidays I've also started this second part titled The Indigo Disc, and earlier in January I ended up finishing the story. Now I'm just collecting what's left of the Pokédex, making a living dex this time as well, but I'm running a bit low on space right now. I was hoping Game Freak would increase the number of boxes. After all, making living dexes is quite a popular thing, I believe. But since they are selling Pokemon Home as a paid service, I guess I should have expected the number of boxes to not be increased. I guess that wouldn't have made sense for them business-wise. Anyway, it looks like I will barely manage to fit everything in, although in order to get everything, I will need to get back to my Pokemon Violet speedrun, as there are 2 Paradox Pokemon in the dex that are exclusive to Violet, and those exclusives are not showing up in Raid Finder, as Paradox Pokemon cannot be in Terror Raids, so therefore I need to finish up Pokemon Violet as well. I think I left it at the end of the Paldea region. So I have the Ace Academy tournament left, and of course both of the DLCs. Hopefully similarly to my Paldea speedrun, this one will also take about half as much time as the Scarlet one, because it was very time consuming when I played Scarlet, and because I'm not going to collect all of the Pokemon again in Violet, I guess I will be able to save a bunch of time, but I guess we'll see. In February we are going to see quite a few game releases, but I'm personally only really interested in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. This is the second part of the Final Fantasy Remake project, and the sequel to the original Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. It's looking really good, and it's coming right at the end of the month with quite an unusual release date of the 29th of February. There are also a few others that pique my interest a bit, like Tomb Raider Remastered, which is sort of a collection remastering the first 3 Tomb Raider titles, coming on Valentine's Day. Then there is also Mario vs Donkey Kong on the 16th, which I believe is also a remaster from an older Game Boy game. Another remaster, or I guess remake in this case, is for Brothers A Tale of Two Sons on the 28th. And yet another remaster is coming for Star Wars Dark Forces on the 28th, which is quite an interesting take. It definitely has a unique look to it. It's like they just increased the resolution on a Doom-era video game. I'm not sure I like it. I personally would have preferred an actual remake in this case, but then again I would highly prefer a remake for Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy instead anyway. Given its popularity, I'm also going to mention Persona 3 Reload on the 2nd of February, which again is a remaster remake. I guess this will be the year of remasters, or at least the month of remasters. I'm personally not really interested in this franchise. I'm not very familiar with it either, but I think I've heard that it's a bit similar to Majora's Mask, or at least in the sense that these personas in the game are similar to the mask system in Majora. I'm not sure if that's true or if that's even the correct way of describing this franchise, but the mask system was in fact my favorite aspect of Majora's Mask, along with the time system, so I guess I should give this franchise a chance at some point in the future as well. In terms of upcoming videos, I'm working on multiple of them actually. First, I would like to recap 2023 by summarizing my year in terms of gaming. I'm also working on a 2024 predictions / upcoming games video, where I talk about what I'm hoping for this year and what I'm interested in from what has been announced so far. I will also be making a video explaining the change from monthly recaps to monthly gaming vlogs, why this change is even necessary and why did I think it was so important. I also have 2 tech upgrade videos recorded, although those will need a lot of editing and voiceover, which I haven't done. And of course next month's gaming vlog, which, let's be honest, will probably be released sooner than some of the other ones. So that's it for this year's first gaming vlog. If you think any of the upcoming videos that I've just mentioned you might find interesting, then don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss them. Again, I wish everyone a happy new year, and I'll see you in the next one.